Time passed quickly, and 2 years had already gone by since he and Yusha became pen pals. In the corridor, Evan could be seen staggering along, breathing heavily. He was looking for Alon right now. When he reached the backyard, he finally found him. Exhausted, Evan collapsed onto the ground. Seeing Evan's sudden arrival, Alon, who had been practicing magic, flinched slightly, his body trembling from the surprise. With his usual flat face, Alon told him he had startled him. While giving a thumbs-up emote, Evan, with tired eyes, reported that he had successfully delivered the fifth one to the orphanage. Alon, deeply moved, covered his mouth with both hands upon hearing the report. He seemed touched by Evan's efforts and the fact that the mission was finally complete. With this, over the past 2 years, the remaining 3 sins had all been rescued. Seeing how exhausted Evan looked, Alon picked up some cake and fed it to him. Evan thanked him. Not stopping there, Alon grabbed more pieces and tossed them at Evan. Evan quickly caught the flying cakes with his mouth and hands. Finding the third one, the sin of greed, had been a struggle, but thanks to Alon's game knowledge and Evan's relentless hard work, they had finally succeeded. Alon then told Evan he could rest for a while now and thanked him for working so hard traveling everywhere. Hearing this, Evan asked if the orphanage mission was truly over. Alon confirmed it was finished. Evan let out a huge sigh of relief. He was genuinely happy. He had been utterly drained by this mission, but looking at Alon's flat expression, Evan hesitantly asked if he wasn't happy. Alon said he was happy, but Evan wasn't convinced because it didn't show on his face at all. Pointing to his slightly open mouth, Alon claimed he was smiling a little. Of course, that expression couldn't be called a smile by any stretch, so Evan wasn't persuaded, but he didn't dwell on it and accepted the explanation. When noon arrived and the sun stood at its zenith, Alon stretched after a long training session and lay down on the grass to rest his body for a moment. He honestly hadn't expected things to go this smoothly. All the bosses in Psychedelia became the 5 great sins because of their tragic pasts. Even though he was now in the distant past before they awakened as sins, the chance of perfectly saving them all before something terrible happened felt slim. So he had worried they might be rescued in a completely broken state. After thinking about it, Alon asked Evan about the orphanage's condition. Evan replied that everything was going smoothly as usual. The children who once looked like broken dolls had brightened up considerably. Alon was a little surprised it had gone this well. He felt they probably didn't need extra caretakers anymore. He hadn't expected Yusha to handle it this perfectly. He wondered if it was because of her character's attachment to the orphanage, though she might dislike outside interference. After opening and reading the latest letter from Yusha, Alon thought she really was a kind child too. Hearing that, Evan asked if there was anything special in the letter. In it, Yusha wrote that everyone was healthy and most of the children at the facility were growing up really well. She also told him not to worry about Deus or any of the other children he had sent. Reading that made Alon feel strangely proud. He was happy to see all the children at the orphanage growing up properly. Seeing the great sins growing up normally made him realize once again how crucial a good growth environment was. But Evan suddenly asked the question that had been nagging at him. When was Alon finally going to visit the children? He always said he was waiting for the right time. Hearing that, Alon didn't know how to answer. Honestly, he had no plans to meet them in person. Evan could only feel confused watching Alon visibly dodge the question. It would be beneficial in many ways to get along with them directly, but perhaps because the process of becoming a sin was so horrific and miserable, their personalities, even in the childhood flashbacks shown in-game, were awful. Rescuing them before awakening made it slightly better, but it was still terrifying. Just thinking about it made him a little nauseous. That's why he was hesitant. He told Evan that the right time would probably be about 5 years from now. That would be the perfect moment for them to finally meet. Hearing this, Evan said he understood. Alon let out a small sigh. Now, in this wretched dark fantasy world, what he needed to do was build up enough skills to protect himself. That was why he had been training so much lately. Magic required talent, and fortunately, the body he possessed had it. Watching Alon resume his magic training, Evan suddenly remembered something. He asked if Alon had ever heard of the Blue Moon. While controlling orbs of energy with magic, Alon looked puzzled and said he had never heard of it before. Evan explained that they had become quite famous lately. They were hunting down criminal organizations. Hearing that, Alon chimed in, like taking out the trash. Good job doing good deeds. He had never heard of this setting in the game, or maybe it was a minor detail he hadn't paid attention to, so he figured they would disappear soon enough. Seeing Alon's indifference, Evan quickly added that they were also killing nobles. That's why he thought Alon should know. The news genuinely panicked Alon. His whole body seemed to deflate. He immediately called Evan over and told him to start sleeping in the room next to his from today onward. Time passed. The bright afternoon faded into a quiet, dark night. Inside the orphanage where the Sins lived, they were holding a meeting. This gathering summarized the weekly activity reports of the secret organization they had founded, the Blue Moon. Yusha asked about the situation in the north. The Sin of Pride, Xiaoreng, who was in charge of that region, answered that she had taken care of everything. With delight, she said she had collected the heads of all the slave merchants, and most importantly, no one had discovered her identity. While doing a backflip in the air, Xiaoring happily added that she loved the outfit Rhine had made for her. She had told the merchants she would let them live if they could guess the color of her eyes, but not one of them guessed correctly. Hearing that, the sin of greed, Rhine added that all the bodies had been neatly dissolved as well. Right after she said that, a man sitting on the stairs spoke up. The South had been handled too. The illegal human experiment lab and those annoying Avalon pests had all been pulverized beyond recognition. The man was the sin of obsession, Raiden. Hearing of their mission successes, Yusha was very pleased. She praised their work and said everything aligned with his will. They existed for the Great Moon. Yusha wasn't joking. She genuinely saw herself and everyone who had joined the secret organization she founded, the Blue Moon, as worshippers of the Great Moon. But someone suddenly said they had a problem. Those words naturally offended Yusha, because in her view everything was perfect under his will. How dare he say there was a problem? The speaker was Deus. He asked, "The head of Avalon is the heir of the Count's household where Lord Alon resides, right? During the cleanup in the south, I found a dangerous directive. It seems the eldest son of the Count is targeting him." After saying that, Deus handed over the scrap of paper he had found. The news instantly enraged Yusha. The fury in her heart made her unable to contain the terrifying aura within her any longer. The other four tensed up seeing Yusha's wrath. On the paper Deus had discovered was a sinister plan targeting Alon. After the Count dies, poison him and dispose of him quietly. As someone deeply caring and utterly loyal to Alon, this was absolutely intolerable to Yusha. Time flew like an arrow, and before anyone realized, another 2 years had passed. Today was the day Count Palacio passed away. Just like when Tonio died, a funeral was held, attended by the Palacio family members and servants. The official cause of death was a heart attack, but Alon knew the real cause was overdose from illicit drugs that finally killed him. Even facing the death of the family head, none of the Palacio family looked sad. Alon was the same. He appeared completely apathetic. Suddenly, a subordinate informed Leo about the Blue Moon's actions. The news caught both Leo's and Alon's attention. Leo didn't seem unfamiliar with the organization. This wasn't his first encounter with them. The subordinate reported that they had attacked last night. Hearing that, Leo asked if it was another total annihilation. Listening to their conversation, Alon could tell they were finally starting to take the Blue Moon disturbance seriously. And so the Count's funeral passed without a single person mourning him, ending in complete silence. Seeing the ceremony over, Alon and Evan decided to leave. However, what they didn't notice as they walked away was Leo sharply glaring at their backs. Back at the residence, Evan asked what Alon planned to do now. Next year, the eldest young master would inherit the title and become the family head, but he suddenly stopped mid-sentence when he saw what Alon was doing. Confused, Evan asked why he was packing his things. Alon didn't answer immediately and simply told Evan to pack his own belongings too. After finishing stuffing everything into suitcases, Alon announced that they were running away. Evan was shocked and asked if they were really running away from home. Alon confirmed it. They were heading south. Hearing they were going south, Evan asked if he meant Rodmel. Once they finished packing, the two boarded the already prepared horse-drawn carriage. Alon planned to move to a small village in the southern part of Palacio territory called Rodmel, but as their carriage departed, a mysterious silhouette watched from behind a window. It was Leo. He seemed irritated watching Alon's sudden departure. It had ruined his plans. After several hours of travel, Alon and Evan arrived at their destination without incident. Alon's daily life there didn't change at all. He continued enjoying the same lifestyle he had before, as if none of the world's suffering had anything to do with them. However, just 3 days after running away, an unexpected incident forced him to return to the mansion, the funeral of the eldest young master, Leo Palacio. This turn of events gave Alon a massive headache. He couldn't believe he had to come back to this corpse-smelling place. But he was also confused. Leo's death didn't match the game's original setting at all. Why had he died so soon? The official cause was a heart pierced by a sword, so the question arose, who killed him? Unable to find an answer, Alon turned his attention to the guards to ask about the circumstances of Leo's death. But the guards looked terrified the moment Alon looked at them. Panicking and trembling, they apologized, saying they hadn't meant to meet his eyes. Alon could only feel bewildered as he watched the guards flee from him. After investigating the situation for a bit, Evan quickly came to him. Seeing Evan, Alon immediately asked if he knew what was going on. Evan confirmed it. Whispering, he told Alon that people were saying he, Alon, was the one who eliminated Leo and completely massacred Avalon last night. Hearing that left Alon speechless. To confirm the rumor's authenticity, Alon glanced at the guards and servants. Sure enough, they looked terrified and avoided his gaze when he looked their way. Alon could only feel utterly confused facing this absurd situation.